Nation's on fire. Kicking out podcast. Take it higher and higher.
And what is up, everybody? It is Sunday, and you know what that means? It's time for the Kicking Out podcast live on Facebook and YouTube. Since, Elon now requires people to pay if you want to go live on their product. I am your people's champion, Paul Zartman, and if you ever questioned whether or not I am the people's champion, well, like Majin says right here, I'm flying solo. Shep might be joining me later tonight. I'm not 100% sure on that, but no Tanner Lee. Apparently, the Kicking Out Podcast Predictions champion is on his way back from Creed. Apparently, he's not skilled enough to drive home on the same night. I don't know why you got to get a hotel and things. I don't know. People do weird things. What can I say? But the good news is I am here, and it is time to talk AEW wrestling. So give Kicking Out Podcast a like, a subscribe, follow us on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. And don't forget to leave us that 5-star review if you listen to your podcasts on Apple Podcasts. So feel free to drop your comments throughout this. Otherwise, it's going to be just me rambling on for this entire podcast or until Shep joins us, whichever comes first. So normally I have questions right out the gate, like what are we drinking and what are we watching? Well, tonight I don't get to ask either of those to my co-hosts, but I'm drinking good old Mountain Dew myself, and I'm not watching anything because, well, I don't have a TV behind me like other people do. Majin says, I wonder, did he have his arms wide open during the concert? Yeah, he probably did. I don't know. I haven't talked to him much. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that'll be a question we'll ask him next week. We've got an interesting draft topic sent to us by Majin coming up later on in the show. So without further ado, let's get into Dynamite, where we saw MJF defend the AEW American Championship. Or no, he didn't defend it. Excuse me. I forgot. It was an eliminator match against Kyle Fletcher. And as predicted, MJF won this thing. I've said it time and time again. I don't like these eliminator matches. If you're going to have an eliminator match, just the damn title on the line. Yeah, I'm sending us explicit early, I guess. I don't know if you can consider that word to be what sends us explicit or not, but I dropped it that one way or the other. Yes, Majin, eliminators. Ugh. You and I do agree on that. We don't agree on much, but I agree with you on that because they're stupid. If you're going to have the challenger lose, just say it's for the title. Seriously. Here, yeah, as the match is winding down, we find out Ospreay was locked in a room. The door was blocked. Who do I think blocked the door? Honestly, I'm not going to say MJF. That's the easy answer. I would say that Don Callis blocked the door so that he couldn't get in the way of, Fletcher. There we go. God, I forgot the guy's name. Fletcher and MJF's match. I secretly think Callis is working for MJF. Yes, eliminator matches do happen far too much lately. So again, just say the title's on the line if you don't plan on having the guy win. Now, I think we saw a good eliminator match between Willow and Statlander. That one made sense. But most of the others are stupid, and the champion wins. So why not just say it was for the title? It saved a lot of stuff. But yeah, so that was that match. Not a real big takeaway from it. I did enjoy it. I was impressed with Fletcher as I am every time he gets into the ring. Um, I'm always impressed with MJF, but I think Callis definitely blocked that door, Majin, and Majin thinks so too. He also heard Callis couldn't shut up about how Osprey couldn't come out for the save. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point. So up next, we had Mariah May versus Viva Van, which the streak Mariah is on. I don't think there was any doubt that Mariah May was going to win this match. And Majin, I'm sure that made you happy that Mariah picks up another victory. I think they need to make her absolutely unstoppable until um, All in the women's match and then go from there. After the match, though, Mariah unwraps a gift to reveal a picture of Tony Storm cradling her, and on the back it says, "Die, Mariah, die." Storm then blindsides Mariah in the ring, and Mariah momentarily gains the upper hand over her. Storm grabs the shoe from Mariah, but a referee prevents her from using it, and officials run down to the ring to separate the two women. Yeah. Majin says, I saw this tweet before, and after seeing that match, I kind of agree. And Majin also says, one of the worst things that can happen for Fletcher now is for his partner to come back. He's been on a roll. Absolutely. Fletcher has been on a roll. Let's talk about Fletcher's role here lately, because a lot of times he's over on ROH, so we don't see a whole lot of him on AEW, but the dude is absolutely on a roll. I mean, win after win after win. And even if he doesn't get a win, he looks strong every single time. Majin says, yes, I love that Mariah got another win. She's being booked super strong. Can't wait to see Mariah versus Tony now. Absolutely. And just think, like I said, if they keep getting Mariah win after win until All In, then if Tony picks up the victory, it'll be just an absolute shock. Like, oh my gosh, look at that. Tony can do it. Or, because everybody's going to be thinking, well, Tony hasn't had many matches, if any at all. And Mariah's unstoppable. Mariah's going to win this thing hands down. And then if Tony picks up the victory, it's a whole big shock factor, which is something that we don't see a whole lot of, are those shock factors. At least not here lately. Back from the break, Brian Keith, Jericho, and Big Bill make their way down to the ring, and Shibata follows, as we will see Shibata take on Brian Keith. All right, this was one of those matches that I wasn't all for. I think that Brian Keith needs some solo spotlight to really put over why he's in AEW. And of course, Shibata just delivers, to steal a quote from Sheamus, banger after banger. And of course, Shibata picks up the victory for this one as well. And after the match, Bill and Jericho blindside Shibata in the ring and beat him down with Keith. Jericho looks to hit Shibata with the FTW Championship as Bill and Keith hold him in place. But a returning Hook makes his way down to the ring to make the save. He sends Keith and Bill crashing out of the ring, then beats down Jericho, sends him out of the ring to join them as well. Man, it is good to see Hook back on TV. I did like this match, believe it or not. I wasn't too sure about it going into it because, again, we haven't seen a whole lot from Brian Keith, but it delivered. It delivered. I was thoroughly pleased with the match. Oh yes, my bad. It's for the World Championship. My bad. It no longer never mind. We're not going to go that explicit this early into the show. It's only 10 and a half minutes in. I'd feel weird going that explicit to what FTW used to stand for. It's for the World championship. You're right, Majin. Thank you for correcting me. For now. Back from the break, we head over to a video of a conversation between Jim Ross and Swerve Strickland. This is a good video package. I always like these, and I think this is exactly what Jim Ross should be doing for the company. These sit-down interviews, good old JR doing them, is perfect. It keeps them involved in the company without being too involved, if that makes sense. You get these nice packages every once in a while. We're not having to see him struggle on commentary every single week. And let's be honest here, I have the utmost respect for JR. He was the voice of wrestling in my childhood, but he's not what he used to be. So him doing these sit downs, perfect. He can go at his pace. He doesn't have to try to keep up, and it's easier for him. And see, even Majin agrees. Majin, would you stop agreeing with me, dude? Seriously, we're not supposed to be agreeing here. Remember, you don't like me and I don't like you. Or you don't like that I turned down your offer. One of the two. One of the two. I just got notification that Shep is en route to the house. So we could get a Shep sighting before this is over. We'll see though. Give me a minute as I send him a message. All right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Steffi, you never have to behave when you're joining the KOP. Just go with it. Majin says, well, Tanner ain't here, so I got to at least agree with someone. Well, I'm the only one here because I'm the people's champion. Can you acknowledge that fact yet, Majin? I mean, who showed up this week? I could have easily told Tanner, hey, just I don't want to do it alone. Just cancel the show for this week. We'll be back next week. Nope, I'm here because I'm the people's champion. Acknowledge me, Majin. Acknowledge me. Back at ringside, let's get back to Dynamite coverage here. Orange Cassidy, FTR make their way out. Roosh, the Beast Mortos, and the Undisputed Kingdom follow as we set up for a six-man tag match, which, of course, Orange Cassidy and FTR pick up the win on this because, okay, Steffi, you're here too. Do you want to acknowledge me as the people's champion? Because I know Majin's not going to, and Steffi, you normally do agree with me. We agree a lot, and yeah, of course you won't acknowledge me, Majin. Pluggo is one person. Yeah, well, Pluggo has pull. Remember, Pluggo and JPJ are buddies over at Between Two Beards, made their way to Cleveland and interviewed quite a roster of people. Oh, Steffi, I'm not asking you to acknowledge me as the people's champ. That's The Rock. I'm the people's champion. See, there's a difference. I'm not the champ. I'm the champion. Majin says, Mortos has been amazing. He looked familiar, though, so I had to search him up. Now I know why he looked familiar. Yeah. But yeah, this match was a phenomenal match. I'm not always one for FTR. Yes, Steffi, you said it like Rikishi. You did it for The Rock. Okay. We can acknowledge Ric Flair too, Majin. What about the original People's Champ, Ric Flair? All right. There's Ric Flair, The Rock, because, I did it for The Rock. And then there's the People's Champion, Paul Zartman. See, get it right. There's only one Paul Zartman. There's only one People's Champion, and that's me. Majin says he was formerly Black Taurus. He appeared under that gimmick in AEW before. Oh, okay. See, I did not catch that. But yeah, he did look familiar. But now I know why. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm not a big FTR guy. I know Majin's not a big FTR guy either. But man, this match was pretty good. Shout out to Mortos and Roosh as well. I mean, these guys are just delivering every week. Undisputed Kingdom. I got a feeling they're going to fall apart pretty soon. We'll see, though. After the match, the Acclaimed's music hits, and both Anthony Bowens and Matt Caster make their way out. Harwood says FTR's issues go far beyond AEW before the two teams begin to brawl and security pulls them apart. See, I'm starting to feel like Tanner might be right, and this is hard for me to say because, well, I don't like to agree with Tanner ever, but um I got a feeling that we might see a triple threat tag match at All In for the tag titles. FTR, Young Bucks, and the Acclaimed. And I don't want to see that. What I rather see is either All In or All Out. Either one is the Bucks versus one team. And then the following at All Out, we see both the other team take on the other team and have the Bucks drop the belts at All In, if that made any sense whatsoever. Majin says, I'm tired of FTR already, especially during the tag title scene. They've lost all their big matches recently. They don't deserve to be there. And Steffi says, no Acclaimed. Yeah, I agree. No Acclaimed. I'm tired of the Acclaimed. I'm tired of FTR. I'll agree with you on that one, Majin. I like Dax, but I think it's time to let FTR get some singles runs in before their time's up. And yeah, I agree, Steffi. The raps from the Acclaimed, they're getting cringe. And Majin says, I'd rather see Lucha Bros if it's a triple threat, but we all know they won't do that. No, especially because didn't I see something about their contracts are coming up and they might be on their way out of the company? Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, Majin. I'm not the best at keeping up on the dirt sheets like everybody else is. I try to avoid the dirt sheets and just, live like it's the 90s sometimes. Back in the 90s when the closest thing you had was WWE.com or some other dirt sheet website. I don't remember what it was, but back when we could see Taboo Tuesday. Taboo Tuesday was a great pay-per-view. Majin says they might be on their way to New York from what he's seen. Perfect. Because not perfect for them on their way to New York, but my point being that at least I was right in thinking that they were on their way out the door. See, I don't have a good memory either, so I don't always remember everything that I've seen. But as you can see, I do support the Lucha Bros, and I pointed at that perfectly. I'm surprised. Anyway, up next was our second women's match of the night. I like saying that. Our second women's match of the night, where we had Camille versus Jasmine Howe and Clara Carter in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And of course, we knew who was winning this one. Majin says with the Lucha Bros heading to New York, they'd be terrible there. And actually, he says horrible. Let's get it right. They haven't used a single Latino star properly they've hired. Are we starting to maybe mean Connecticut? Or did they move their headquarters? I don't know. What's in New York? I'm confused now, Majin. you're going to have to fill me in here on what's in New York. This is why the other guys need to be here. Maybe I'm not the people's champion. Oh, wait. Yes, I am. Haha. All right. Anyway. Steffi, question for you. As a female yourself, are you happy to see that they are getting more women's matches on Dynamite? We've got several weeks in a row now versus this one in the 9:30 slot every single week. Is that something you're enjoying? Majin says, can we yeet the mic away from Mercedes at every available opportunity? Britt Baker wasn't even there, and she cooked Mercedes with relative ease. Yeah, Britt's definitely gonna take it to Mercedes in a promo battle every single time. There's no way Mercedes can even hold a candle to Britt's ability. Majin says people refer to WWE as New York, as that's where Madison Square Garden is. Madison Square Garden is the biggest and main arena they use. I agree with Stephanie. I did not know that. So thanks for educating me, Majin, because I was not aware of that. All right. Back from break. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat makes his way down to the ring. Bryan Danielson follows as we set up for Bryan Danielson versus Jeff Jarrett in an anything goes match with special guest Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This match was a little bit back and forth either way, but of course Danielson picks up the victory. Majin says, I loved Britt mentioning how when things don't go Mercedes' way, she quits. This is true. I agree with that. She did it in WWE. She did it on the Indies. It's her thing. Mercedes quits when she doesn't get what she wants. So I can agree with that. Bryan Danielson not easily, but picks up the victory here over Jeff Jarrett. After the match, Jay Lethal, Karen Jarrett, and Sanjay Dutt join Jeff in the ring as Wheeler Yuta joins Danielson, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat checks on both men. Steamboat holds up the hands of both men. Swerve and Prince Nana then make their way down to the ring. Strickland says fans just got to see three great legends, Jarrett, Steamboat, and himself. Strickland tells Danielson he won't hesitate to take the kill shot, then asks him how he's feeling. He says if Jarrett can make Danielson lose the feeling in his legs, spine, and fingers, then imagine what he'll do to him. He says he wants a warm-up match ahead of All In, then challenges Wheeler Yuta to a match next week, which, of course, Yuta accepts. How could you not accept that? I mean, seriously. Majin says, must be why she filed for divorce now, too, eh? Oh, yeah, I fired that shot. Yes. Mercedes files for divorce. Yeah, things weren't going her way, and she filed for divorce. Leave it to Mercedes. Majin says, you notice that when Jarrett jumped Danielson, Karen and Jay came out all shocked, asking him what he was doing. Yes, that was fantastic. Majin, Stephanie's reminding you that Mercedes is not your type. No, she's not. Whose type is she? Seriously. I mean, we talk a lot of times about, oh, congratulations to that guy. He got her. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, thank you. I feel bad for that guy. But Jack Perry, on the other hand, is a lucky guy. Anyway, so yeah, Dynamite. I know I'm going quick. I'm by myself. all I have is comments to go off of, so I'm a little quick. I know. This is why I wish that I had some assistance from somebody, but that's why I'm the people's champ, because I can pull this off all by myself. Yes, I'll say that. I'll say that all by myself. Anyway, Rampage. See, here's what we'll do. Yes, speaking of Jack Perry and Anna Jay, did you see she's on tour in Japan now? Yes, I did. Congratulations to her. They are using her very, very well in Japan. I think she's going to be a star over there, and it's time. She deserves the spotlight. Hey, our buddy Steven Chambers joining us saying worst match so far for All In is the mixed tag Willow and the man with no neck, Evie versus Statlander and Stokely. Yeah, I'm not I'm not digging that at all. But yes, Majin, Anna Jay is going to come back so much better than when she left. And if they don't bring her back and immediately throw her into the title picture, whether it's the TBS or the women's, AEW's dropping the ball with her. I mean, I give anybody who goes over to Japan full props, because you always come back 100% better than when you went over there. Yes, apparently that's been made a mixed tag match. Steffi says, I'm not sure I'm even going to make an effort to watch. Yeah, I don't think I'll watch that match. I agree. It should be Willow versus Stat for the CMLL women's title. Chamber says, here's a good question. I'm happy Kip Sabian is back on TV, but where's Penelope Ford? Ooh, that is a good question. Unfortunately, probably right where AEW always leaves her, at the very bottom of the list. Penelope is talented. I think Penelope could do very well, whether she's with a group or by herself. But for some odd reason, TK and the boys backstage just aren't really giving her much of a shot. And part of that kind of falls again on the side of too many people, not enough matches. With the women's roster, especially, I mean, it is a stacked roster. And for the longest time, actually, up until here within the last month, you only get to see one women's match on Dynamite. So you're not utilizing all the talent that you can, because you don't have an opportunity to showcase them all properly. So I think, unfortunately for Penelope, she just kind of fell to the back of the line, the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. Majin says Jeff Jarrett is a babyface in 2024. Is this real life? Man, I think it is. Or, we're just dealing with what all those other people say is, an alternate universe, alternate timeline. This isn't the real reality. So, no, Majin, I didn't miss it. I just hadn't gotten there yet, because I wanted to talk about Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, because I like Kip Sabian. I've liked Kip since he came in. Yeah, too many people, not enough time, which is why you split the roster. A brand split can work if done properly. This is true. This is true. Yes, much like Allie did. It's partially what led to her leaving. That is true. Stephen Chambers says time for Dynamite to go 3 hours, but I know it won't happen. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. Maybe they can finagle that in their new deal. I will say Dynamite going 3 hours, I can deal with. Because they've always had so much action. I mean, I forget who posts it, but I've always seen it a lot on Twitter, X, whatever. It's Twitter to me. Tanner calls it X. Um, I've seen a post on there several times where they compare the amount of actual wrestling time on each television product, and even at 2 hours, Dynamite beats Raw for wrestling time every single week. So if they stick to that type of motto and go 3 hours, I'd be okay with Dynamite going 3 hours. But unfortunately, I don't think it will happen. I think we'll just get another off show. So you're watching AEW product 4 nights a week instead of 3 nights a week. Yes, Majin. Some people say we're in a multi-universe instead of Earth 616. If you know, you know. Majin also says Dynamite regularly seems to just fly by too. Often I'm watching and I find myself saying, "Holy crap, it's the main event already." Yeah, I mean, there's so much wrestling and so many good matches that it does just kind of fly by. I mean, that hour-long match between Ospreay and MJF. Okay, the 59-minute match between Ospreay and MJF didn't feel like a 59-minute match. It felt like a 20 or 30-minute match because time flies when you're having fun, is what they always say. So I'm going with that. That was such a good match. Time flew. Dynamite is so good. Time just flies. So yeah, we will hopefully see a 3 hour Dynamite. I know personally, Tanner doesn't want a 3 hour Dynamite. I don't think Shep really cares if it's a 3 hour Dynamite or not, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, okay, yes. 59 minutes and 58 seconds to be exact. You're right, Mashin. You're right. Um, but yeah, I think there's enough superstars, there's enough talent, there's enough people on the roster. We could easily go 3 hours and not just use the same 5 wrestlers on repeat. I didn't say that. Anyway, let's talk about Rampage. I've got a feeling that Majin was a little happy for this as we saw one of his favorite wrestlers on Rampage. So, yes. Yes, Stephanie, you can skip Mercedes that way. Oh, fine. Don't care. Be that way, Steffi. Majin, I'm not showing your last comment. Stephen Chambers says Dynamite this Wednesday going to be a great card. Bucks versus the Acclaim for the tag titles. Swerve versus Wheeler Yuta. Mercedes versus Sheeta. Hangman versus Jay Lethal. Okada and Claudio face to face. Absolutely, it's going to be nonstop. And if we get the Bucks and the Acclaimed out of the way, then that's a good thing because then at All In, I'm going to be bold here and go Bucks versus FTR for the titles. I'm just saying. I don't know if FTR deserves it. Shep will say they do, but yeah, no. We kick off Rampage with Darby Allin versus The Butcher, another name that could probably benefit from a 3 hour Dynamite being The Butcher. Of course, Darby Allin picks up the victory here. Wheeler Yuta then makes his way down to the ring. Rocky Romero follows, and Bryan Danielson joins the commentary desk as we get Wheeler Yuta versus Rocky Romero, and of course, ahead of his big match on Dynamite, Wheeler Yuta picks up the victory. Private Party versus Zane Dawson and Dane Dawson. Oh, I forgot backstage Renee Paquette talking to Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander along with Stokely Hathaway. And yeah, that's where the tag match, the mixed tag match that Stephen was talking about. Majin says, slight correction, Stephen. You mean Hangman TA versus Lethal, because he sure ain't Hangman anymore. You're right. The dude looks more and more like Magnum TA every week. But Private Party versus Dawson and Dawson, as I'm calling them. And of course, Private Party picks up the victory. And then it is time for Majin to be very happy as Saraya, along with Harley Cameron, takes on Nyla Rose. And Saraya picks up the victory. So, Majin, I bet you are a very, very happy man with Saraya picking up the victory here. I know as a Saraya fan, you've got to be ecstatic about that. So go ahead and let us know. Let me know in the comments. Help me, kill some time here and talk about how excited you are for Saraya. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Collision as well, but I did not catch Collision as I was actually in a wrestling show myself. Yes, it sounds like a firm, Dawson and Dawson. Ooh, there we go. Dawson and Dawson, attorneys at law. If you've been unfairly treated in a wrestling ring, call Dawson and Dawson. Oh, Majin says, I was standing at attention during this match, if you know what I mean. Steffi says I had to give him mouth to mouth, and Majin says, never mind. Oh, Majin, you tried to sneak one in on me there, buddy, but we're not going to let that slide. So, as we head over to Collision, you Law and Order sound effect, yes. All right, let's talk Collision. Darby Allin and Hologram versus Premier Athletes with Smart Mark Sterling. There we go. Oh, and Ari Davari. Smart Mark versus Dawson and Dawson. That'd be a good match. Of course, Hologram and Darby Allin pick up the victory here. No doubts. I mean, I don't see Hologram losing anytime soon. Stephen Chambers says, funny Cage, the ref during House of Black versus Bang Bang Gang. Yes. After Hologram and Darby Allin, we had Thunder Rosa versus Deanna Peraza in the bull rope match. And of course, Thunder Rosa came out on top. And the match that Shep was looking most forward to, and I will explain why. First, hold on here. Majin says, okay, now I feel dirty. Paul and I are agreeing way too much. Gonna need a shower after this. Yeah, go shower, Majin. You're gonna need a cold one anyway. Up next, tag action, a match that had Shep on the edge of his seat as his four favorite competitors were in the ring at the same time. FTR versus the Outrunners. This is the one I was trying to hold off as long as I could to see if I could get Shep in here for, because I wanted to get his thoughts on FTR versus the Outrunners, because he's made it well known that he's a big fan of the Outrunners. And of course, he's a big fan of FTR, who picks up the victory here. Stephen Chambers says, sucks to hear about Thunder Rosa's promotion, Mission Pro Wrestling, going on hiatus. Absolutely. This is sad. Thunder does a lot of great things and normally comes out on top, to acknowledge your comment there, Majin, in all things she does. But yeah, it sucks for her promotion to go on hiatus. I hope they're able to figure things out soon and get Mission Pro Wrestling back on a regular basis, because I think the world needs it. Up next, Roosh versus Preston Vance. Preston's one of those guys who just got thrown to the wayside here. And at one point, Roosh and Preston Vance were um, in a group together. So I don't know what happened to that group. I don't know if Andrade leaving just made them scrap the whole entire idea. We saw a little bit of that stuff afterwards as well, but I don't know whatever happened. Um, yes, Preston overbladed himself. Preston's one of those guys that he doesn't have a whole lot of experience when it comes to blading, I don't think. Roosh picks up the victory here, and Majin's telling me to hold up, so I'm going to take a drink and give Majin a chance to type. This is one thing that sucks about being solo is, it's hard to do everything by yourself. Yeah, I agree, Majin. Preston was in Roosh's group. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if the group just fell apart. It's one of those. It. I'm going to hate myself for this comparison, and I'm sure it's gonna make a lot of people mad. But between Andrade and Jose the assistant, I think that's what ended the faction. But it feels very WWE-esque. The group just ends, and there's no real explanation why it just ended. We don't get to see the group end. And that's one thing that I'm not digging here, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves with WWE is too many times they'll end something and you just don't know it until you're watching like a week or two later and you're like, wait, weren't those guys just wearing matching outfits 2 weeks ago and now they're against each other? And then you find out from commentary who's like, oh, I can't believe the way that these two ended their friendship. And it's like, wow, wish we could have seen that. It didn't even end up as an exclusive on social media. It just ended. And that's exactly what happened here. And I don't like it. Up next, Swerve Strickland, Prince Nana versus Ishii. Okay, here's my problem with this. I know we want our champ to appear on all promotions, but if we're gonna do a brand split, let's do it. Don't tease it and then not do it. We've had too many teases where we're gonna do this brand split and we're going to have these guys are collisionites. I don't know what they are. And these guys are dynamites, whatever we're calling them. I don't know. And then they just show up on both. You can have a couple people do it, but if we're going to do this brand split that's been teased, that we've talked about, let's do it. And let's do it right after Wembley. Why not? It might work there. Of course, Swerve picks up the victory here because, again, Swerve's not losing before All In. Up next, Hikaru Shida versus Aaliyah James. Of course, this is a quick match, and Hikaru Shida picks up the victory. Bang Bang Gang versus House of Black. And Christian Cage, as we mentioned earlier, comes to the ring wearing a referee turtleneck. All right. Pure chaos. Patriarchy wins. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I got to say, at least Christian looked better as a special guest referee than Seth did. Can we acknowledge that? Colliders is the term for those on Collision, by the way. Thank you, Majin. Thank you. See, that's what I'm thinking too, Steven. Steven Chambers says, guessing shaping up to be a triple threat ladder match. That is my thought. And if we get away from, if the Bucks beat the Acclaimed and we get Bucks and FTR and tag team action, just those two teams, 100% behind it. Doing the triple threat ladder match at All In. I just don't want to see two triple threats on the same pay-per-view card. Majin says, find yourself someone who will love you as much as Christian Cage loves his turtlenecks. Yes, or find yourself someone who will love you as much as Majin loves Saraya. There, I gave you another plug, Majin, trying to help you out there. Maybe Saraya will be watching this and go, ooh, I need to call this Majin guy. Just saying. But yeah, AEW this week. I mean, absolutely phenomenal week of professional wrestling from AEW. I think that heading into All In, the path to All In, the road to All In, whatever we want to call it, the plane to All In, I don't know. We're 2 weeks away from All In. I think it's going to be a phenomenal pay-per-view. I'm going to be late watching it because I, again, have a wrestling match that night. Gotta love it. But hey, I think AEW is on the right path, finally. They need to stay on this path and just continue doing what they're doing. Majin says, I'm all for the Bucks as tag champs, but at the same time, I have a major gripe about it. All right, Majin, let's get your gripe about the EVPs being tag champs. Stephen Chambers says, looking forward to Okada versus Claudio and Cardiff before All In. Yeah, I'm a big fan of seeing this match. I will say that much. And Cardiff, man, Cardiff is amazing. Steffi says, oh, hell yes, Dylan wins it. Where's Shep? En route to house. That's all I know. Majin's gripe. Why are you putting your tag titles on the Bucks when it's in their contracts that they only do X amount of dates? Your tag titles and overall division suffers because of it. I agree. And I think the reason that you put your titles on the Bucks is because then when someone beats them, it's just that much better because now the titles are going to show up more often. They're going to be defended more often. This will be their first defense since they won the belts. The tag division, something they told us would be their bread and butter, has suffered. You're right. I agree with you here, Majin. But like I said, I think they're doing it because then when somebody does beat them, you're rooting for that team even more. They're more heel now because they're not defending the title. MJF didn't defend his title when he was champion as often as a lot of other people did. But I think that's why they're doing this with the Bucks. It's just to get them hate or get them even more hated. So people don't respect their EVPs, like some people. All right, had to pull up something else. But when it's FTR, since they have an eternal feud like Cena Orton, is it really going to matter? No, I don't think so. I really don't. Yeah, I feel bad for the tag division. I think the tag division is going to go to the wayside because of this. Whatever happened to the old school rule defending titles every 30 days? Stephen Chambers, I agree with you. That is one of my biggest gripes in all of professional wrestling. I hear so many people talking about, well, we're old school. We're old school. We're old school. We believe the old school way. Okay, if that's the case, why are we not defending titles every 30 days? Why are we not having champions on shows? Why are we just doing whatever it is we do? Um for instance, the tag titles. Yeah, they should be defended way more often. Um I personally have always felt your big titles need to be defended every pay-per-view, and your lower card titles, your tag titles, your mid card title, maybe the go home show. Have somebody defend one on the go home show and then put the other one on the card. I feel that gives an opportunity to see all titles defended within a 30-day period and close together. But that's just me. I mean, I don't have the pencil. If I did, there'd be a lot of changes. Majin says MJF didn't defend it every week, but he did defend it every pay per view. That is true. That is true. Majin says, hell, look at Logan Paul alone sat on the U.S. title for so long. How Mox, when he was Ambrose, sat on it. Roman, as world champ, sat on it. The list goes on and on. You are correct. I was joking with my son and Shep, I think, even. I might have brought it up here on KOP, even. It cracked me up that Orange Cassidy, when he was international champion, had almost as many title defenses in a fraction of the time that Roman Reigns had in his whole time as champion. That record long run that Roman had as champion, yet Orange Cassidy, little Orange Cassidy, the king of sloth style, had almost as many title defenses. Explain that to me. Why do we let this type of stuff happen? Let's get back to old school, folks. Titles defended every 30 days or you're stripped. Majin says, ironically, most are WWE, but it happens elsewhere too. You're right. You're right. Stephen Chambers, when FTR had the tag titles, always put them more on the line. You're right. They did. FTR, I will say, was good about offering a chance at the titles. And that's kind of the problem here is we've gone into this eliminator style stuff. And I don't know if you caught the beginning of the podcast, Stephen, but I was talking about it there too. Majin and I were talking about the fact that there have been so many eliminator matches, but the champions always win these eliminator matches, or 9 times out of 10 they do. So why don't we just put the title on the line? If you're going to have the champion win anyway, put the title on the line with the stipulation that if you don't win, you have to wait so many days to be able to challenge for the title again. That way it's not a full eliminator type thing, but it's a stipulation where you win or you go to the back of the line. That's all there is to it. And then, of course, you have to work your way back up, but you can't do that in 20 days. So you could see a new champion by the time you get back up. That's just my opinion on this. Mashin says, as the old school team in WWE used to say, old school is cool. Let's go back to some of that mentality. We don't need to go back fully to the Dusty finish and all that. No, let's not do that. Steffi says she still thinks it sucks how he was stripped. I agree with you on that one, Steffi. Big Rhodes fan. Always been a Rhodes boy myself. But all right. Before we dive down any more rabbit holes, or before I take us explicit here in the first hour of the podcast, because I definitely don't want to do that, I'm going to give you my rating and wrestler of the week. So my show of the week is Dynamite. my rating, I'm doing as a whole week, not just a single show. I'm doing the whole week of AEW, and I'm going with a solid 7.9. There's a lot of stuff that can still be improved on, but again, AEW is starting to rock and roll with where they're going with everything. I like what they're doing, and I think if they stay on the path they're on, don't worry about Connecticut, don't worry about Indies, don't worry about AAA, CMLL. Do what you're doing right now. Yes, I know they have working relationships with some of these companies, but I gotta say, if they just keep doing what they're doing, I think they'll be fine. My wrestler of the week, and of course, Majin, go grab a shower because we're gonna agree again here, and it's Britt. Um, she just delivered a phenomenal promo. I know when Britt first started in AEW, she wasn't the best wrestler. She wasn't the best on the microphone, but she has improved all in all. And seeing the promo, absolutely going with Britt this week. Majin says, do we think Hater could come back to help Britt at all in? I think we're going to see that on the Go Home show. I think what'll happen is Britt will be in the ring, and I think that's kind of what's put a damper on Hater coming back anyway, is Britt being suspended. I think this week, or definitely next Wednesday, we see Britt in the ring cutting a promo about how she's amped, she's ready to go, she's looking forward to All In, she cannot wait for it. And then Mercedes comes down with Camille. They jump her, and out of nowhere, Hater slides in for the save. Boom, boom. She's in her corner. All out. We see a tag match. I'm just saying, that's my thought process. That's what I would do. But yeah. Cardiff Hater shows up. Steven, I hope you're right. I'm ready for some Jamie Hater. Majin says part of her improvement came from Jericho. She's mentioned it many times, how after every promo she'd go to some of the better talkers, usually Jericho, for more advice. Absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. That's the way to do it. I mean, for those that don't know, I am a manager with a indie wrestling promotion. I go by the name of Rip Ryerson Jr. And I have sat in the back so many times just listening to the guys who have been there longer than me, who talk better than I do, watching other promos. Big fan of watching Bray Wyatt's promos, as a matter of fact, just to find ways to be better on the microphone. And in the almost 3 years I've been doing this, I have gotten better. And, that's just kind of how it works. And Britt realizing that that's the thing to do is, okay, I cut a promo. How did it sound? Well, you could do this. You could do that. I think is a good thing. So props to her. Before I get to your comment there, Majin, a piece of advice that Mercedes could use. I think people have tried to help Mercedes since her time in WWE, and she just doesn't want to take it. I think that's the biggest problem is Mercedes refuses to take advice. Now, who's Rip Sr.? Well, he's a guy who decided to punch Rip Jr. in the head last night for no reason. I was just trying to make sure Rip was trying to make sure the client got the victory. I mean, he's got to make sure his clients win, right? So, yeah. We'll get some video of Rip Jr. and Rip Sr. together on KOP at some point, and maybe we'll even get Rip Jr. on KOP at some point. But all right, so yeah, 7.9 for AEW for the entire week, and Yeah, Britt for her promo. I spaced it. I'm watching. Yes, we need a no holds barred Rip Junior versus Rip Senior. But Rip Junior doesn't want to break the old man, so he's trying to be nice and respect his elders, even though his elders don't respect him. But like I said, maybe we'll hear from Rip Junior soon on KOP. Majin says Mercedes thinks she's so good at everything. She's told you herself she's the best in the world. Nah, the best in the world is the People's Champion. And look who showed up to work on this Sunday evening. Good evening, Shep.
What's going on, Paul? You having fun doing this? You having fun doing this by yourself, or what?
I've made it through all 3 shows so far.
Jeez, hold on a second. I got cords wrapped around everywhere. Hold on. Well, good. Hey, I'll be quite honest with you. I didn't watch any of the 3 episodes this week. All I saw was what's on the old Twitter machine. And the only one that I think I regret missing, and I would like to get your take on it, was the bull rope match. Was it worth the hype? Oh, you didn't
I did not see the bull rope match. I was in Pierre's green room at that point in time.
Oh, well, look at you! You rubbing elbows with the fancies.
Yeah. Hey, Shep, Steffi's got a message for you. Austin Dillon.
Yeah. Won. So funny. She says that. I walk into the house. I still haven't unpacked. Anyways, it's a shit show. And I turn the TV on. And the first thing on there is FS1 or USA or whoever. I think it was USA had the NASCAR race today. And I hear, I think it was Tyler Reddick bitching about who won and about he must have moved Tyler Reddick out of the way. Steffi, fill me in here. But all I saw was the interview of Tyler Reddick just bitching about it. So I'd like to, yep, okay. So he moved Tyler out of the way to the win. That's all right. Tyler drives a Toyota. Dylan drives a Chevy. We're going to go with the Chevy people. And Steffi, just to let you know, the GOAT won the Knoxville Nationals last night, led all 50 laps, won $190,000, and then the GOAT is Kyle Larson. So my boy Carson Macedo, or guy behind me here, he started fourth, finished fourth. So nope, okay. Logano. He was bitching about Logano? Okay. I'm gonna have to rewatch the race. I do have it on DVR, so gonna have to watch the race. It would suck because the time I could use my DraftKings lineup, okay, it was time for me to place my lineup. I was in Vegas and I was freaking blocked. Like they did not like me doing that. I didn't place the bet through any of their casinos, so it sucked. Which I thought you could do fantasy lineups in Vegas, but anyways, my app would not load. I felt like I was getting blocked. So,
yeah. Well, Shep, it's weird to ask this at an hour and 4 minutes in, and I don't even know if the answer's anything like normal. But what are we drinking?
I actually I have absolutely no vodka in the house.
Oh, okay.
I ran out before vacation or anniversary vacation, whatever. And I did this for Tanner. The reason I did this for Tanner is because I'm taking that damn belt from him in a couple of weeks. We're drinking the old Coors Light, the old Rockies.
Oh, okay.
So to make this shit taste good, because it's from a shitty state,
yeah,
I had to put it on a fucking frozen mug. It's the only thing I had in the house. It was either that or go pour a straight shot of bourbon. And I'm like, after the last 4 days I've had, I don't need straight bourbon. So we're just going to go with a little Colorado water.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Cheers to everybody out there in YouTube land and Apple Podcast land and Spotify land and whatever else you watch us, our silly asses on. Cheers.
Majin says not piss water. I did
It's
good.
it's light beer. I mean, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, it all tastes like light beer. So
yeah. Steven says less filling, tastes great. Wait, wrong beer.
normally I drink Miller Lite, but for some reason I had no beer in my barn fridge. I was in the basement of my house, and I have a fridge down there. Yes, I have fridges everywhere. I'm a degenerate, and I had Coors Light in there for some reason.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed a couple of those to bring out here this evening to join you in this, because Tanner obviously left you high and dry.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that guy can't go watch a preseason football game and be too tired. What kind of champion do we have, Paul?
I know. That's why I said there's no question now that I am the people's champion. I'm the only one who showed up on time.
That's true.
And I got beat up last night.
You know, I see a pattern here of you of late.
I'm the people's champion.
Well, no, I'm talking about your FWF career.
Oh yeah, that's because my dad's back and he likes to beat me. So
Oh, okay, well,
or Rip Jr.'s dad's back.
That's I guess for
I better specify because you know my actual dad.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, Todd's on a rampage.
No, I'm sure he'd like to be sometimes, but no, he's good. He's good.
That's okay. Anyways, what was the draft we were doing this week? I can do it on the fly.
I was waiting on Majin to come back. He said he had to go do his laundry, so I was waiting on him to come back since he sent this to us. But how about a draft for wrestlers you feel would do well in another sport? And obviously, none who came from said other sports would be included, like no football, etc. For Roman, Brock, things like that.
Okay, now let me. What wrestler would fit in with another sport, not what other athlete would fit in as a wrestler.
Correct. Correct. So, would you, well, I'll stick with the don't use this, you can't use Roman Reigns would be a good football player because he played football.
Not really.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Pat McAfee, you can't say would be a good kicker because, he already was.
No, he was not a kicker. He was a good punter.
Close enough. I don't follow sports.
You do too. You follow the stupid Cleveland Indians.
Yeah. You know how I do that? I go to google.com and type in Cleveland.
I'm sorry. It should be the
no, you're right.
Cleveland
it should
Guardians,
be the Guardians, but
Guardians.
It's the Indians.
So are you
Spiders?
Are you a Browns fan as well?
Yes. Which is why Tanner and I have this bet going on that if the Browns do better than the Broncos, he has to wear a Browns jersey. I should say, since the Browns will do better than the Broncos, he has to wear a Browns jersey.
Kind of like that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came across a Broncos jersey. I was over at Ross in Plymouth, and they had a Broncos jersey up there for like $25. I almost bought it.
You should have.
I felt it would have been too much money to spend on a Broncos jersey. I feel like anything over $15 is too much. And that's for big boy size.
Touche. Actually, speaking of McAfee, you're going to laugh that I'm turning this on. Look at the shirt I'm wearing today. The original Barstool Indie shirt, which the two times I've met Pat and the one time I was wearing this shirt, I believe there was sold less than 75 of these shirts.
Oh, wow.
And that was before they changed the name a couple different times. It was Barstool America, Barstool Indie, Barstool Heartland. They couldn't land on a name. But anyways, this was one of the first shirts that came out. I bought it. I wore it. It's kind of my not so comfy or comfy shirt. Just the t-shirt you wear every day. But anyways, the reason I say that is we were at one of his comedy shows for New Year's Eve and we did the meet and greet, and he had a merch stand there, and that shirt was up there. I said, "Oh man, I got one of those." He goes, "You do?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, there's only 75 in existence," and he's like, "There's 3 left behind this merch stand." I said, "Well, mine's a 3X, so it's in a rare category." He's like, "Yeah, we didn't sell any 3Xs." So, leave it up to Shepard to be the odd guy.
Yeah,
Anyways, let's talk a little AEW. I mean, even though I didn't watch a lot of show, I did see a lot of the updates on the old Twitter machine.
We're doing the draft.
Oh, I thought we were waiting on Majin to take a shit or something.
He's back. I gave you
back?
the.
Oh,
yeah.
He's back? Okay.
Yeah. So Majin, how many do you want from each of us? 2, 3? Let us know how many you want. Stephen Chambers says Bronson Reed equals sumo wrestler.
Okay.
And then, of course, Steffi's my new favorite follower because she says it's the Indians as well.
All right. Appreciate that. Do I get to go first, Majin, or who's
Yeah, you get to go first. You get to go first, Shep.
Oh, dude. I mean, I do like the big Bronson Reed as a sumo wrestler. I think that's a really good one. You got to be really good with your hands there, but you're going to laugh. And actually, I want you to keep a straight face here, Paul. Okay?
Bill? Did you just call me Bill?
Big Bill.
Big Bill.
Big Bill can play. He could play center in the NBA G League.
Majin says 3 each.
Okay.
So we'll just bounce back and forth.
I'm going with Big Bill to play center in Lithuanian professional basketball. That's a professional sport, so.
All right.
That's my first one.
I'm going Darby Allin, soccer. You got to be fast and you got to, be able to move your feet and use your head.
Dude, he would get is it yellow carded or
probably? Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow soccer, but
it's definitely not green carded with those nationalities. But he would get red carded, yellow carded in 32 seconds. He would be straight drop kicking people out of the air. But yeah, I guess I get okay. All right. All right. That one's out there, but I like it. All right, Majin, your turn.
Yeah, Tanner's not here, Majin, so you've got to send us your 3.
I thought Majin was involved in this.
No, he just wanted us to do it.
Oh, well, son of a bitch. I like the crowd participation. All
yeah,
right.
well, I just told him he's got to send us his 3 and what sports they should be in. And here's the thing. Majin didn't put anything, apart from they can't have already been in that sport. So I'm going to count all forms of racing as a sport as well.
Okay.
Just to give you some more to go with there, Shep.
My next pick. Oh gosh, I got so much shit running through my head right now. Like this is a wide open topic.
Majin said he had Darby doing NASCAR.
Well, I mean, there's bumpers, seatbelts, and a helmet. I mean, that's way better than what he's got in AEW. That's where he's got better in AEW. He doesn't have any of that, and he's still a nut job. All right, you're gonna love this one, Paul. Matt Cardona, professional pickleball player.
Wow.
I left Paul speechless on this one.
And Darby playing soccer was out there?
I don't know. This one's so open ended right now.
Majin's got Statlander playing women's basketball, Nightingale in a women's football league, and Jericho in hockey.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about hockey. I should have put Darby in hockey. Of course, he'd be in the penalty box in 30 seconds.
Could you imagine? Remember that female arena football league they had 5-6 years back? Before I don't think it survived after COVID.
No,
but
it didn't.
Willow would be a
beast
in that league.
Phenomenal in that. Yeah,
I would put her on a defensive end and her rush the end there because I think it was 3 linemen versus 3 linemen and maybe 3 or 4 wideouts. And then the quarterback. It was 7-on-7, I think, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, Willow rushing the edge there? Yeah, I'm in. I signed her to a 5-year guaranteed money deal. Good job, Majin. I appreciate that pick.
Majin says Darby in hockey would get crushed. Well,
Marty McSorley would kick his ass.
But here's the thing. Darby would probably use the stick like it was a kendo stick.
Yeah. I mean, high sticking would be a little
people with those skates on.
Yeah, that didn't work out well for about a year and a half ago about a player. So no, let's not do
that. All right. So you had your second one.
And it's out there. My second one was out there.
Of course, the easy route would be anybody on any roster for golf, because most of them do play golf these days.
Yeah, but Miz sucks.
I said anyone. I didn't say Miz.
I mean, he's the one that's more outspoken about it. He sucks.
Okay.
Hell, I think
so
Tanner
could Tanner, but I think
Tanner could beat the Miz. God, I hope he could beat the Miz.
All right. I haven't I've been on driving ranges, never actually been on a golf course. Do you think I could beat the Miz?
No.
Now, I'm really good at putt-putt.
If you've never been on a golf course, like the Miz is probably like watching the Miz. I'm guessing let's just say if the Miz was on the show right now, Miz would tell me he's a 9 handicap. And that means I would have to give the Miz 2 shots, and I would do that bet as deep as the Miz's pockets could be. I would play the Miz 18 holes and give him 2 shots and dominate him. And I'm not Mr. GQ golfer. I would say the Miz is closer to a 14 handicap. Anyways, that's a whole nother discussion, and maybe one of these days we'll get Miz on here and make fun of him. Anyways. My next pick would I'm going with there was that league. There was that league. That's
Tiffany Stratton women's lingerie football, says Steven Chambers. And of course Majin says Cassidy should be a golfer.
Mark Briscoe. Badminton.
Okay. I realized I never did my second pick. I got us on golf topic and then.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I did.
No.
I just jumped. I'd leapfrog you then. Take that.
Yeah.
Take that, Paul.
Sky blue beach volleyball.
Oh, come on. I mean, really? Are we already explicit?
Yes. You took us explicit about 2 minutes after being on the show. I got us
did?
all the way the first hour and only said damn like once.
You lightweight.
I was trying to keep it clean this time, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I could yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Good pick. Good pick. Good pull.
Mark Briscoe in hockey would be a treat to see, according to Majin.
He's already got the teeth, so I mean he's missing his front too, just like every most hockey players.
Solruka beach volleyball.
Who the hell is So Rucka?
I don't know. Steven, explain that. Explain who that is to us, because neither one of us seem to know.
I feel like I watch a good amount of independent wrestling, and I'm guessing that's an independent wrestler. So,
all right. I've been thinking, because I wanted to get somebody into a car and have them go fast. Chambers says she's in NXT, WWE nobody.
Okay. Thank you for thank you for the commentary. I appreciate it.
I've been thinking long and hard on this, and I'm going to go all ego Ethan Page in IndyCar.
I like your pick. I don't like the discipline. Ego would be better suited for NASCAR.
Okay, then let's put him in NASCAR. We can do that.
And the reason I say that is because obviously
NASCAR has more fights.
Well, you can hit somebody in NASCAR not seriously hurt them like you can in IndyCar.
True.
The bump and run in IndyCar is not the same as it is in NASCAR. So I like your pick. Actually, that came across my mind when you started talking about making one a race car driver. His gimmick would fit in well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. And the first person I would like him to punch would be Joey Logano, followed by Denny Hamlin, followed by Bubba Wallace. Those three, he could take out either one of them, and I'd be perfectly fine.
Okay. All right.
I'm waiting for Steffi's comment here on this one then.
Well, so far, she says F1 is so much more dangerous.
Here's the difference with F1, though. And I think the cars are faster. The cars are more custom. But they don't run 230 mile an hour down a backstretch like an IndyCar does. IndyCar runs the ovals. The road courses, you tend to slow down more, and it can be dangerous. We've seen very many very bad accidents, but I think most of your IndyCar serious accidents where maybe there's some injuries are even worse are always on the ovals. So
she wants to know if she can throw Kyle Busch in there as well.
I feel bad for Rowdy. I used to be all over his ass. And the only reason is I have a buddy in town that's a diehard NASCAR fan, and he hates Kyle Larson. And I've just been burying him since COVID about how much of a better driver Kyle Larson is than Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch finally switches to a Chevrolet, and I'm like, I'm going to root for him. He's working for Childress. So now the bitch for my friend here is Larson's in way better of equipment than Rowdy. They're both in Chevrolets. Hendrick to Childress, I think, has got to be darn near on point. I really want to like Rowdy. He's starting to dabble a little bit into some dirt racing. I really, really want to like him. I really do. I don't yet, but I really want to do. I feel like all of a sudden we turn this into a NASCAR racing podcast, which we can, rabbit holes.
Yeah. That's what these are for. Mashin also says, while you're taking your drink there, he got his own shirt finally.
Nice.
And he'd still like to see Ethan clock him. Or she. My bad, Steffi. I just was rambling. Steffi would still like to see Ethan clock him.
But you got to remember, Steffi with that CM Punk background, you get a little confused.
I'm just confused in general, all right? I think my brain got a little scrambled last night.
All?
But, Britt delivered a good promo this week. We're now going to see, make sure I get this right here. Steven brought it up, and I want to make sure I don't screw it up because I'm good at that. Oh, while I'm looking for it, I want to get your opinion. FTR versus your boys, the Outrunners.
I saw that. Was it? Did you watch? Did anybody watch it? Tell me it was good.
Okay.
Tell me it wasn't. Tell me it wasn't a squash.
Here's a match set for All In. It's a mixed tag. Willow and Ishii versus Statlander and Stokely. Instead of going Willow Statlander for the CMLL title, we get this.
Are you serious? That's set.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I can't wait for Ishii just to literally tear apart Stokely. I mean, that's not even fair.
I know. This
That's
has got to be the buy-in show.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be 0 hour or whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah, you can't put this on the main card.
No. Golly. That's awful.
Stephen Chambers wants to know if you got your Mama Wayne shirt yet.
I haven't, but Mama Wayne accompanied me in Vegas this past 3 days. So,
and Stephen Chambers says yes, it is for the 0 hour of All In.
Okay, thank you.
And of course, Majin here. Outrunners FTR was mid, just like FTR.
Shut up, Majin. That's such a bad comment. Name a better tag team.
Oh,
I would love to see what's one better tag team in current professional wrestling. All companies. Please fill me in.
Shep, you're opening a rabbit hole here. You know this, right?
It's early. We're only an hour and a half in.
It's late.
It's early for me, I guess, right?
Yeah. I was getting ready to do my draft, and then I was going to wrap this thing because, I'm the people's champion, and I actually show up to work unlike everybody else.
You can't do that.
And then he disappears on me.
I had to get another piss water.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're waiting on.
Imagine it. Is he? Oh, Jesus! Shut up.
Lucha Bros. Steffi says the Bucks.
Okay. Hey, if you like old flippity floppities, yeah, go for it. Not saying that they're not entertaining and they're not great professional wrestlers, because I'm very entertained by both of those teams.
The Chaos Collective is better.
There's obviously an ad behind me for some AEW right now. Let's look.
Yeah, this is like the second or third one since you've been on.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like moments after you came on, one popped up.
Yeah, I just don't overall like if you're gonna go just downright raw professional wrestling, those guys are hard to beat right now.
Lucha Bros have actually went singles before and done well on their own too. FTR haven't done anything apart from each other, according to
that's a false. You remember when Cash Wheeler was hurt and I was freaking voting for Dax for freaking Wrestler of the Year with the singles matches he was having in 2023. I mean, come on. That dude had some monster banger single matches. And if you remember the singles match between Cash and Dax during the original Owen Hart Cup, remember the original of that one?
Yeah.
They
delivered banger after banger after banger.
That was a hell of a professional wrestling match. I don't care what you say.
Sorry, I had to steal a line from Sheamus.
Sheamus. You mean Mick Sheamus?
Yes. The big jar of mayo with red hair.
I think of McChickens, but whatever.
Okay.
I like Sheamus. Yeah, what else is fill me in, Paul? What else has gone on here in the last 4 days? Because I've been in La La Land.
Majin says, have they won singles titles apart from each other? No, I rest my point.
Okay, yeah.
What else has gone on?
So you give some really big credit to Jericho for winning the FTW title. Like that's a big title
for the world.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Stupid. You probably think Ricky Starks is a good wrestler too.
Hi,
Actually,
guys.
Actually, I like Ricky Starks. I was trying to think you hold that stupid title, but
Mazin says you can have bangers, still need gold to back it up. FTR singles, all matches, no gold. Lucha Bros team, major gold. Lucha Bros single, matches in gold.
okie dokie, artichoke. Let's talk about something else. This is stupid.
Yes, Steffi, I know what it is.
Yes, thank you, Seth.
I was trying to be my best Jericho, but it is, in fact, fuck the world.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on mainstream television next week, so I can't have the. Fuck it. I don't know what you're saying. What is it?
What?
What? Is it the FTA that regulates television? You can't say that, right?
It's the FCC.
FCC, FTA, FCC, FTR, all that shit. It's all the same thing. I've cussed on local radio before. FCC didn't yell at me. It was an accident. I promise it was. I got heated in the game. It was the middle of a basketball game, and damn official couldn't get his fucking nose out of his jock. And anyways, it's a whole other story. That's a whole other life. That was a whole other past life for Shep, by the way. When I used to do commentary on the old radio.
Yeah, we've both done that.
Yeah, well.
Let's see. We saw the Patriarchy pick up a victory. Christian is a special guest referee. At least he didn't sparkle as much as Rollins. Bull rope match, I hear, was good. Britt cooked Mercedes in a hell of a promo. I think when Britt comes back, Steven agrees with me that it'll probably be in Cardiff. Hater will show up, and Hater will be in Britt's corner at All In, and then I still think All Out we get a tag match.
Well,
just saying.
I just remembered I did record Collision, so as soon as we dump these yahoos of listeners, just joking. I can be the heel for once, right? I will watch the Bull Rope match because I've heard actually really good publicity about it. Everybody seemed to really enjoy it. I think those two women are very, very talented individuals, and I'm excited to watch it. So yeah, as soon as I kick your ass off the. The hell, I got shit in my hair. As soon as I kick your ass off this air,
you have hair?
Very little.
Okay. Hey, Shep, you've been to Pierre's, right?
Oh my God, Paul, it's been years, long time. I'm old, Paul. I'm old, but yes, I have been to Pierre's. I have been to Pierre's.
FWF was in Pierre's last night in the main stage, where a gentleman by the name of Brandon Day dropped another gentleman by the name of J-Rock onto that stage, the wooden part of the stage.
I know J-Rock. I've met J-Rock.
Yeah. And then Brandon Day took a flying leap off of the stage onto J-Rock.
It's good. Yeah. I like it.
It was good stuff.
Was it a good show? You had a packed house, or?
Oh yeah, a lot more people there than I was expecting.
Nice. Good
and
for you guys.
Just to be in that green room with all those great names that have been in there, we were half tempted to lick the table and see if we got high off of it.
Yeah, you didn't need to lick; you need to snort it.
Well, I'm sure there's still residue on there.
Could have made your teeth numb.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the last time I was at Pierre's was 2022, maybe 21.
Okay.
And it was the first time I ever saw a musical act named Jelly Roll.
Ah, okay.
Jelly Roll played at Pierre's. Actually, it was outside. If I remember correctly, was it outside? I don't know. I think it was outside. Another artist I've seen there, this is pre-COVID, was Hank Williams the Third, Hank 3.
Okay.
He's a character now. I felt like I was listening to some 1968 country, and then all of a sudden I was listening to some 1999 death metal and everything in between.
Mm.
So if you ever look up Hank 3, he's very, very entertaining individual, and he's out there.
All right.
So that was my last couple experiences with Pierre's, and then there was a couple different nightclubs there back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They had a country bar, they had a hip hop bar, they had I don't know, all that kind of. They had all this shit. Your boy Tanner probably should go more, but he doesn't. So
Yeah. Well, I've got it on good authority that FWF is planning on being back at Pierre soon. So I'll have to find out.
Did Tanner didn't show up last night in his hometown?
Remember, he was at Creed.
Oh, good Lord, that's right.
With his arms wide open.
They were sold out in Indianapolis. Sold out.
Yes.
Like, I looked, I flew in very, very late last night. And I was still in Indianapolis this morning. That's why I have no idea what's going on around my house right now. Actually, had construction going on while I was gone. Anyways, but I'm like, you know what? I could land and take an Uber from. I had a hotel, and I could make it there by like 9:30, which I think would be the time Creed would go on. Like, I wouldn't see any of the opening acts, which was like 3 doors down, which I love. Anyways, dude, a lawn seat at 4:00 yesterday was still bringing like $250.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the pavilions were 5 and above. And I'm like, I just witnessed Morgan Wallen and Jelly Roll. Again, if you haven't figured, I'm a Jelly Roll fan. And 70,000 people in Allegiant Stadium. I wasn't going to deal with 30,000 people around Deer Creek, Verizon, Ruoff, or whatever the fuck it's called now. So I just flew in. Actually, my plane was delayed, so I wouldn't even have made it if I would have bought the tickets. I was in the Vegas airport looking at these tickets like, I'm going to try it. Our plane was delayed. Typical airports.
Especially nowadays.
Oh my God. And and if you don't, there you go. He had my subtitles up. Boys, I've been to Vegas last couple of years on a golf trip, and it was in the springtime, and it felt like Vegas. Vegas this past 4 days. Then I took my wife for the first time. It is not what it used to be. I miss the old Vegas. There was people coming out of every freaking crevice of every freaking casino, hotel, restaurant, gas station, you name it. And just wasn't the same. Wasn't the same. Like, I was really hoping my wife would be like, hey, let's go back. And I'm just like, I could care less if she wants to go back. So, yeah, 70,000 people trying to leave the Allegiant Stadium, going through one casino. So there's one casino that kind of connects to Allegiant Stadium. That's Mandalay Bay. And 70,000 people went through that damn thing. And it was a shit show. And I maybe had a beer or two, and it was a long walk home. Let's put it that way.
A beer or two.
Well, in Allegiant Stadium, which is a very nice stadium for all you Raiders fans, it's a beautiful stadium. They did a hell of a job with it. But it's meant for a football stadium, but they had it obviously set up for a concert. And there wasn't a lot of mixed drink stations. And I'm not a very patient person.
No.
So I just went with the vendors and their beers, and all the beers are 24 ounces, which, okay, 2 for 1, right? And I just drank a lot of beer. Check out the strip clubs. Man, I haven't been to in my early 20s when I went to Vegas a lot. I went to a couple of those gentlemen's clubs, and yeah, I'm too old for that now, boys. Yeah. Well, you know what? If she would do that, I would do it. But I know my wife. She ain't doing it. It ain't gonna work.
She wouldn't
And
even go to Magic Mike at our local watering hole.
they do have a Magic Mike night there, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. She doesn't bring it up. Ask if she can go. So, anyways, I was. It just. I miss the old Vegas. I did take her down to Fremont Street, which I got a little bit of the old Vegas. Like I see in the signs, like $13.99, prime rib and lobster. Like those are the signs I remember when I was in my 20s, where any casino you could go for under $20 and get a steak and lobster. That's not the case anymore. Not the case.
No.
But it was a fun trip. 5-year anniversary. She's put up with me for 5 years.
Well, happy anniversary.
Yeah, 5 years. In 5 years, Paul, I'll give you a little quick breakdown. 5 years, got married. We've had 2 kids, sold a house, bought a house, remodeled the house, and then just redid the upstairs of said house. So hopefully nobody's coming back in my house for a long, long time. So that's
until
what
the
happened.
until the third mini you comes around.
Oh no, that ain't happening. If that happens, I'm moving to Canada. I'm gonna be a maple syrup farmer.
Oh, Canada. All right. Well, Shep, I don't have anything else. I rambled through everything in the first hour of the show. So
Yeah, you did. And I can't even give you a wrestler of the week or show of the week or any of that because I didn't.
Sure, you can. Jelly Roll. People are still talking about his chokeslam.
Hey, there you go. My wrestler of the week is from SummerSlam on Saturday night, and then to the following Thursday of him performing in front of 70,000 strong in Allegiant Stadium. And I will see him again in October, actually, in Louisville. My wife is really thrilled about that, by the way. Yeah, Jelly Roll is my wrestler of the week. He's the show of the week. He stole SummerSlam. MGK showed up at SummerSlam, and believe it or not, MGK showed up in Vegas.
Ah, okay.
Morgan Wallen was the headliner. He had no special guest the first night. He had no walkout guest the first night. And then all of a sudden, we got MGK, which I'm okay. I don't mind his stuff. But his new song with Jelly is the number 1 song in America right now. So to have MGK show up out of nowhere at SummerSlam and then in Vegas, pretty good. He's my second wrestler of the week.
Okay. All right. Well, be sure to follow the Kicking Out Podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out Podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And if it happens to be Apple Podcast, please leave us that 5-star review because we are 5-star things. You should check out words are hard. It's your place to go. It's your place to go for great merchandise, support a great podcast, and look fantastic doing show. Be sure to use promo code FUNHOUSE all month long for free shipping off of your entire order. That's FUNHOUSE. Funhouse gets you free shipping all month long. Be sure to follow the guy who never shows up, so you don't even need to follow him, at TannerLee92. Be sure to follow Austin Shepard at the Shep27 and follow myself at Paul Zartman87. And with that, for Austin Shepard, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.